Hey everybody. Right, my phone wouldn't do a live broadcast of this, so I'm just gonna have to wing it and put it on a recorded message. But this is for you, Dan, at Life is a Game. Everybody go check them out. They're doing so well at 7 Days to Die. Up to 1865 subscribers this morning when I was watching them go through a little live stream of their 7 Days to Die gaming. So yeah, cheers Dan, shot brother. Okay, so I'm just outside the inner city of Whangarei here in the area of Northland, or Te Tai Tokero as we call it, at the top of the North Island of New Zealand. So I'm sort of out the back of the middle of nowhere by the Riverside Hatea Loop, which is a walkway that loops around over a couple of bridges and across the river there, which leads out into the open ocean, of course, as all rivers do. Yes, it's kind of a sleepy little town today. The traffic's a bit busy, but that's only because everybody's had no time this week to get anything done. And Friday the 13th was yesterday here, so it is now Saturday the 14th, and I suppose a few people didn't want to drive around. But yeah, that's them. I drove around. I saw a guy riding into work. He was he was in a little, well, not a little Skyline, a pretty massive, hearty, grunty Skyline. But obviously he'd been doing too many burnouts because he had a flat tire at the back there, and it was just about to tear off his rim, and he was going to be running on metal. So I looked over at him, and I said to my buddy who was driving to work with, old Rick, I said to him, "Oh, should we tell him?" And he goes, "Nah, don't tell him." No, sure he knows. And so I took a look at the guy's expression, and his face clearly showed he was about to crap his pants. So he knew his tire has blown and all that. It sounded pretty gnarly, and there was massive vibrations happening throughout his vehicle. They were visible, at least. So yeah, this is the sort of traffic we get. And on top of that, most people take a whole second and a half to start driving away from a green light. That's how relaxed things are here in Northland, in the Tai Tokero region. But yeah, I'm just going to take you around the Hatea Loop and maybe shoot out to Onerahi by the airport there. There's some lovely views out there. See if I can sneak past this guy. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. But yes, the lovely mountains in the background there. Not snow-capped. There's never going to be snow on these mountains. They're just a little too low. We're at obviously close to sea level here. That mountain is no bigger than 746 meters at a guess. But yeah, along here we have all our hotels and my old work spot is coming up on the right. We'll actually get to see some of my artwork in action here. I did the signage for this for the place coming up on the right, all hand painted for the old boss here at Joinery North. Oh, I was making windows. Can't actually see the sign, I'm sorry, but it was very similar to that one that we just passed. Maybe I'll be able to get a shot of it on the way back. But yes, this is our little town. Cruisin'. Riverside Drive Marina. This is where all the boats come to get refurbished, renovated, upgraded, debarnacled, that sort of thing. Some beautiful spots up on the hill on the left to go cave diving, or at least go caving. There's some limestone caves up on that hill that are rather interesting. I haven't gone very far into them because I had the kids with me the last time I went up there, and they were scared to go into these caves because they did look pretty ominous, I must say. Yeah, I had a couple of shout outs too as well to do today, one of which was to I'm Zo Killer Gaming, I should say. Those are all underscores as spaces. I hung out with him last night, but you wouldn't know it because, like a champ, he had his audio sharing settings on PSN turned off. So we couldn't hear him for at least 3 hours of that. It was hilarious. He's like, man, I'm a YouTuber and I didn't even know that. I'm like, yeah, bro, yeah. Huh? So, yeah. So he's sort of a secondary marina out on the right here that we'll just be heading past. I'm trying to adjust my shit without breaking stuff and without crashing into anybody head on, because as we know, that is not the best way to drive. You really want to drive in between the lines, and in New Zealand left of left is good, because you never know when crazy Mad Mike is gonna swing around the corner in his fucking Ford and try to wipe you out whilst yelling "fuck Holden." Anyway, a beautiful rainbow there. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, a bit of murals, artworks and stuff. There's a very creative bunch out here in the well, right across the north actually, and right across the world. So I can't really designate this place as the most creative, but there is definitely creative folk out here. Yes. So yeah, we have the Whangarei Hollywood sign up on the left here. You know, no copyright infringement there, and of course no plagiarism. I do like Whangarei. They have the hardest, the most difficult pool table in town. It has the tightest pockets, and it's a very fast table, so you can't really hit them slow. You gotta have the perfect balance of power, angle, and speed to get anywhere on there. It was actually there. This is an embarrassing story. It was actually there at the Whangarei Tavern that I got my first down trail. That means I didn't sink a ball the entire game in 17 years in that pub. Luckily, the tournament had ended and it was merely a friendly game, but I still won the trophy for, well, it's called the tin hat trophy. That's what the captain calls it. Get a tin hat. And so that's sitting on my mantelpiece next to my doubles champion trophy, which is not bad for your first year at competition pool. But I must give big props to my bro Jay, because he carried me that whole time in that doubles. He really deserved that trophy, but because he'd held it for so many years, he said I could look after it. But man, what a great player! What a great player! So yeah, Dan, this is the sort of weather you should expect in winter out here in New Zealand. It was actually sunny this morning and about 22 degrees. Now it's now obviously it's overcast with some sun in the distance there, and about 20 degrees. So it chilled off a little bit because that wind factor picked up. So yeah, here on the left is the Whangarei Tavern, the place at which I had that terrible loss, very embarrassing loss. The looks on my buddies' faces when I missed the one shot I could have gotten was priceless. Honestly, they could have made a Visa card fucking advertisement out of that one. So yeah, pretty soon we're going to be coming up to the airport, and I'll take you on the loop around. Maybe we'll shoot out towards the Whangarei heads to see a bit of the beachside area as well. because it's takes you through the forest, you see, on the way there. Now I actually live way on the other side of town, but I had a few things to do and stuff to pick up. Grab a toy for my little fella Xavier, because he really wanted a dump truck, and there's these special dump trucks that you can build yourself with little tools that come in the case and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. Anything that there's a little bit of creativity to it, I'm all for it. If it doesn't have that, then nope, I ain't gonna pay for that. But yeah, I got my father-in-law a lovely nano saw as well. Man, that looks awesome. I should have bought it for myself, for Christ's sake. Once I realized what it can do, I'm like, holy crap, this should be mine. So yeah, I used to mow lawns down around out here when I was being an artist, and in my spare time I'd go and mow people's lawns for really cheap, just to get a bit of exercise other than carving stone and cutting and polishing wood, things like that. So we might actually get a view of some ocean and a bit of the mountain range. It's the Mount Manaia on the left, if you manage to turn in that direction far enough. And some nice little houses. I've installed a few windows out here over the past few years, and a few doors. But there we go. There's the mountain range across the other side of the bay here. And like I said, not a perfect day to explore our wonderful area, but definitely well worth a little look-see. This is usually where you can sit and have the planes fly right over you as they take off and land. Can scare the crap out of you if you're not ready for it, that's for sure. Yeah, lots of sports happening on the weekends up here. I can see on my left here. Oh, sorry, on my right. But yeah, on the left here we can see some lovely puutakawa trees. These are our basic Christmas trees in here in New Zealand, because right through Christmas they get these beautiful red flowers on them, and they're just wonderful to watch, wonderful to look at. Now we're kind of getting into the richer area of Whangarei. All the biggest houses are at the end of driveways and very far out of reach from the average Joe. But mostly little batches, you know, nothing much bigger than a 5-bedroom house you'd find around this area. But down on the waterfront, oh my gosh, they can get pretty large. Let's see if I can dodge this red car. Yeah, lots of people out here drive as if they're as if they've got nothing in the world to be ready for. Oh, it is just amazing how slow and relaxed everybody is up out here. We're almost around the entire loop now. Be heading back towards the initial street I was on, and then I'll take you for a drive out through the forest so we can see a bit of what it's actually like to drive around here in New Zealand. You pretty much have to drive anywhere if you want to get to somewhere beautiful and remote. because the towns are small, you can walk around them in no time flat, you know. The CBD here in Whangarei is only about 10 minutes across walking distance, and maybe 12 minutes the other way. But it is kind of spread out, you know, to get there's different shopping centres and stuff like that. Just passing the airport terminal on my right, and a few people getting some good advertising time to all my wonderful subscribers that'll drop by after I upload this. Luckily I have something to drink. It's not beer, you crazy bastards. I don't drink and drive. But yes, once upon a time, I did once or twice, you know, when I was a silly little kid. Nothing went wrong, but man, something could always go wrong when you're in that situation. Because you don't realize how much danger you're in, because you're under the influence, you're intoxicated. But yes, one of the most regrettable times of my life, making mistakes like that. I'm just lucky nobody got hurt. Okay, we're going to take a right after we just slow down for these guys. Got to let them through. Out this way we'll see a bit more of the rural side of northern New Zealand. I might see a few farms and farmers, maybe some sheep, but honestly we don't have that many up north here. They're all in the South Island because there's not many girls down there, which is why we get the butt of all those sheep shagging jokes. But yeah, we just say no, talk to the South Islanders about that. There's only cows up here. And we're not into that. We've got enough women. We actually got too many women up here. They run the north. You know, we have a female prime minister at the moment who just had a baby. She got pregnant midterm and had a oh geez, I don't know if it's a girl or a boy because I don't watch the news. I don't watch that bullshit. But here we're going past mangroves on the left. It's all very shallow waters, and very muddy, filled with fresh water and salt water oysters, depending on which part of the mud you're standing in. And the hills, as you can see, most of the trees have been knocked flat. Right off in the distance there in the far left, middle left, is you can actually see some pine trees. So that's where they've bowled all the natives and replaced them with pine, because they make so much money here. You know, they're pine that came from Europe. So basically, instead of having a 100-year growth cycle, they actually have a 20-year growth cycle here in New Zealand, and they're ready to turn into lumber. Oh, that tree is beautiful. It's got what we call a widowmaker stuck in the top of these white puffy flowers. Well, these puffy ferns. These are cutty grass, which you know, we call them toi, but the leaves themselves are actually razor sharp, and those fluffy bits are actually just so soft. It's a massive contradiction, like many things here in New Zealand. You know, we have a few introduced palms here, so you might see some that are famous in places like Florida. They brought them over here and they grow quite well, and some very similar types of trees and plants that are actually native to here, but they look very close. There's gorse, that yellow fucking flower bitch. That's a pest. The English brought that over in the 1820s, and just to build their hedges, and it turned out it just spread like wildfire here, and now it's constantly on our case, just like the possums of Australia. Dan, you'll probably be sad to hear this, but we shoot everyone on sight because they're a pest here. We should be boxing them up and sending them to you guys because they're endangered over there. Isn't that a fucking piece of work, isn't it? But yeah, I do love coming out this way. There's a couple of nice pubs on the way that I like to stop off at for lunch and things with the family. Don't have the family with me today. They're all quite happy to sit at home in the warm and be boring. Plus my lovely lady, as all my followers would know, just hates being on TV or on camera. Hates being recorded, I should say. She doesn't mind being on television. She's been on television a few times dancing. You know, as long as it's like 2 million people, she's fine with it. If it's like 10 people, she gets very upset. So work that one out. What else have we got around here? Just turn the heating down. I'm actually overheating. Like not the car, I am. Gosh damn it. I had to take my jacket off. I'm going, what's going on here? But it's set to 35. My family just like the warm, so I pay extra. Pay for extra heating bills at home for them. You know, I'll just chuck a jacket on and say, yeah, she'll be right, mate. She'll be right. Ah, that beautiful ocean. Right across there, you'll see Marsden Point Oil Refinery. And even though we have our own oil refinery here in Whangarei, it's still expensive as fuck to buy some gas. $2.14 in New Zealand for the basic 91 octane gasoline, petrol, fuel, whichever you'd like to call it. I know we'd probably call it gas cans if we're in 7 days to die. So basically, yeah, $2.14 per 1,000 gas cans. Tamatero, please slow down. Sure thing, bud, sure thing. I'll try and do that. Don't want to hurt anybody, run over any kids, because it is the weekend here. Bookbinder, you don't see that often. I can just hear the echoes of all the under 20s going, books? What are those? Well, they're things that people hide information in. For clever people to find. Ooh, open road sign, cool. Can speed up a little bit now. So I know of a little spot not far from here. I'm going to pull over, grab the phone out, and finish this off. But I hope you like the rural, natural, native New Zealand with the clean green image that is way exaggerated. There is a lot of, you know, we're constantly having battles, us as in the Maori people, who are actual guardians of this land here. We merely lent it to the English. Because we're good at that. We shared it with them. That's probably a more accurate point. They believe they had obtained ownership of it, but through our understanding, you can't own the land. You can merely share it with those others who need it. And they needed it, and of course we're willing to share it. But yeah, legally, there's a big hoo-ha about that. They call it over here the Treaty of Waitangi. It was a document signed in 1846, I believe, or is it 1840? I'll have to ask my brother. He's actually got a doctorate in it. So yeah, it was signed back in the day, and there was 2 copies, one written in Maori, our native tongue, and one written in English, and definitely the English version and the Maori version. You'll get lots of windy roads out here. You will never get bored trying to navigate these sorts of roads. And if it wasn't for Gran Turismo on PlayStation 1, I wouldn't be hailed as one of the best drivers in the family. And you know, I've got a big family. One side has 300. I have 300 cousins and family members. The other side, we have about 60. So yeah, mum's side about 60 and dad's side about 300. Now that's a normal size for a Māori family, around 300 cousins, aunties, uncles, brothers, sisters, that sort of thing. My family, I'm just one of three. There's me, my younger brother, and my elder sister, my elder half sister. I should say, you know, she's my sister. Who gives a crap about a half, unless you're working in wood joinery, where half a mil is actually really quite a bit. And in glass, if I'm cutting glass, a quarter of a mil is way out. You do not want to be a quarter of a mil out if you're cutting some glass for fusing glass bowls and stuff. So I should actually plug a buddy of mine, Monty Kirkman and Robert Morton. They hired me as a glass cutter for them for over 3 years. I've worked with them at Māori Boy Glass. You know, an amazing company. They're the leader in the field in New Zealand here, and hopefully in the world. They have been sending their product to Australia, so you might see some stuff over there, Dan, but generally speaking, it's just a New Zealand-wide company. Out this way too, there's a few art galleries and a little bit of breakfasts and just lovely spots to hang out. You know, there's still people out here. They're just hidden away along long gravel roads and driveways, and basically, you know, that's how a lot of people here like to live. But yes, we should be able to get here a hotel stop and push that, because it's a powerful mountain. Now the name Manaia is actually Māori for guardian. Okay, so a Manaia was a guardian. They guarded ancient knowledge and secrets and treasures. You know, usually the treasure would be some sort of knowledge, but sometimes it would be an item or an artifact of great power, or mana as we call it here in New Zealand. Oh, you can definitely tell the non-natives. They stick out like dog's balls. This horrible piney fucking bastard there. I just love the native trees because they just look so beautiful when they're all huddled together like a little family. Taranui. Now we're out here in Padua Bay. It's a lovely little town, and there's Mount Manaia is actually hidden behind that cloud. It's that cloudy today, so the peaks are actually obscured right now. Yeah, I got into a good stream last night. Oh man, it was my Stranger Danger episodes that I'm doing weekly on Friday nights. What I do is I will jump into a random multiplayer game through one of the communities in 7 Days to Die on PSN. Now, the thing with this one is that you don't know if they're going to be friendly or become your nemesis, you know. You just never know. But that's part of the fun of that Stranger Danger series that I'm doing, is just not knowing. And I kind of get to start every with a new setup, with a complete fresh start on schematics and skill points, so I don't need to worry. Somebody who might be worrying is my lovely lady. I didn't say I was going to be out this long, but I'm sure she'll get over it. She didn't plan on going anywhere, and it is +3 and horrible out there, so she's probably more than happy to just kick it at home. This is the orientated area out here near the peninsula that we're heading towards, at Oceans Beach and at the Whangarei Heads. But yeah, this is just a wonderful area. Bit of bamboo there, more pine trees, bit of woolly nightshade or bushman's toilet paper. Really soft leaves if you're ever stuck in the bush trying to survive. Bit of flax harakeke there with the long fronds, long palm fern leaves there. Big stand up bloody woolly nightshade, man. This stuff is like, it just took off as soon as they got sorted. As soon as they brought them here, they just went wild. That's Māori for the mountain of Manaia. But yeah, the Manaia, the icon of the Manaia is actually it has the head of a bird, of like a serpent, and the tail of a fish. And it's usually, you know, lots of people will wear them around their neck, either kavu, stone, so nephrite jade, that is sourced here in the South Island. Well, it's sourced here in New Zealand in the South Island. The Southern Alps have really large deposits of it, and it is all still under the guardianship of the tribe, the Māori tribe down there. So they haven't completely mined out the English. They're kind of on natural reserves. Manaia art scallop out here. The sign needs a little work. I'm thinking that I might want to pull over here. Yeah, a little bit of McLeod's Bay here. Most of this side is not sandy beaches, they're rocky shoal beaches, but they're still great for picking pippies, little shellfish, finding the odd toiroa, which is like a, well, I don't know, I think they call them penises. I'm not sure. I don't eat the damn things. Hardly eat any shellfish, actually. The odd mussel, an oyster once a year. I can smash back a few pippies though for some reason. They're a lot less shellfishy, even though they have a shell. But yeah, most people come out to Mount Manaia to do the walk. There is a beautiful walk up the hill here. Here we go. I'm going to pull over here. Ah, yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'll just detach this unit from the from the car. My lovely lady is going to kill me if if any of this sticks to her beautiful car. It's like, oh man, she is so particular about her car. But yeah. Yeah, cool. So I'm going to take you outside. Let's go have a look, eh? While we're here. I'll try and put it in a park, you know, I don't want it driving off into the ocean. That's just a bad idea. But yes. Here we go, the bay here. overcast as hell, but beautiful all the same. And part of smaller peninsula, smaller outlet Mount Manaia there. We come around here, past the Whangarei Cup, baby one. We can see Mount Manaia up there in the distance. It's still obscured by the clouds, but there we go. There we can see it now. It's coming out. Okay, there's a wonderful story with the top of that too, but we'll have to leave that for another time. But definitely shout out to Dan and Life is a Game, and my boy Mr. Bro, mate over at Battlefield Nights, Sky Hard Demon, of course she always drops in, and Gaming with Whiskey, you know, she's awesome. Wonderful stuff on her channel. But yeah, shot Dan and Wolf for asking me to do this, because yeah, I wouldn't have thought of it for another few months at least. And keep up the good work, keep streaming, man, and I'll keep watching it. Choice one, bro. Laters.